Hello, everyone. My name is Harry Twyford, and I'm the UX engineering intern in the Toronto office. Welcome to my TED Talk. Over the next 11 to 13 thrilling minutes, I'll be going through some of the work I did at Mozilla this summer. I have three goals for this presentation. One is to entertain you fine folks in the audience. Another is to help future intern prospects watching a recording learn a little bit about the company. And the most important of all is for this to serve as the metaphorical taxidermied bear head above my LinkedIn fireplace, if you will. For the purposes of this presentation, I've decided to forego going over most of the technical details of my work. My live audience might find that a little dry, and future intern prospects probably just want to know what it's like working at Mozilla. People looking at my LinkedIn might be disappointed, but that's nothing new. Getting right into it, here begins Chapter 1, Good First Issue. I started my internship here with very little idea of what I would actually be doing. I'm pleased to inform you all that is still the case. However, now I'm confidently clueless, which I understand is the defining characteristic of a software engineer, so I've really made it. On my first day, my mentor, Erica Wright, told me I'd be working on a large-scale project at Mozilla that needed some prototyping work done. Prototyping was more or less what I expected to do coming into this. This is not what happened. Due to external factors, the project I was going to work on just didn't materialize, which is fine. I was shocked because I did expect the entire project management cycle at the company to revolve around my presence, but everything turned out great regardless. I spent my first few weeks here working on small UX-related bugs in Firefox and the test pilot side view extension. The bugs aren't too exciting, so I won't really go into them. The truly curious in the audience can review my Bugzilla threads in intense detail following this presentation and find that one of these patches required 8 reviews for 9 lines of CSS changes. Either this means that Mozilla is absolutely meticulous about the quality of its code base, or I am a blundering fool. I will let you, the audience, decide. I enjoyed my time familiarizing myself with Firefox's front end, but I was left wondering, would I be relegated to good first issue my entire internship? What is a good second issue? Do I even have an issue with any of this, let alone a good first one? Do Bugzilla tags follow what we consider to be linear time? It was after this philosophizing that I heard from someone that Erica worked on a side project during her own internship here. That's it, I thought. I also need a side project to truly stand out. The best way to stand out, of course, is to copy what someone else did 2 years ago. I knew the perfect project too, filling the all-too-empty touch bar at the top of my MacBook's keyboard. Gleeful, I set out to learn if any prior work had been done on Firefox's touch bar thus far. I came across this Bugzilla thread. It all looked well and good until I took a closer look, and allow me to illuminate. The bug was filed by my intrepid manager, Blake Winton, 2 years ago, and then a patch was written by Erica 12 months ago. No standing out would be done by me. With both my head and my hat in my hands, I came to Erica and relayed to her my hubris. I was concerned I still didn't have a main project, so I asked Blake and Erica if I could work on the touch bar. I got the green light and came screeching in to Chapter 2, The Dark Ages. My touch bar work was off to a great start. I based my work off Erica's patch from a year ago, which was a solid working prototype. I figured I was about 50% done after running HG pull. How convenient. After just a few days, I had a solid working patch that tossed a couple toolbar buttons down into the touch bar. It was a little hacky, but it all worked. I began research on what I thought would be the last part of my touch bar work, customization. Apple makes implementing customization a breeze. It takes 3 lines of code. The first 2, I set up an instance of the touch bar with some stuff in it. And then the last one is a pref called automatic customized touch bar menu item enabled yes. This could not possibly be easier. It's amazing what you can do with a little elbow grease and a million hidden lines of Cocoa library. However, I was deeply, deeply foolish to believe that this would be the end of my work. You see, Firefox has this cool bug that instantly crashes the browser when the mouse cursor exits the touch bar during its customized mode. Check it out. Being the determined software engineer that I am, I set about patching the bug. Enter stage left, 3 weeks of utter despair. I have neither the time nor the emotional fortitude to fully convey what exactly I did to try and fix this bug. It felt like I rewrote the entirety of Gecko, but in reality, it was probably closer to me kind of staring slack-jawed at my computer monitor, trying to interpret the simplest of memory errors. After 3 weeks of this, including one in the middle at all hands, where I ran down the main strip asking people, begging people, please look at my patch, help me, I gave up. Giving up isn't really an enviable trait, nor is it something you want to share in the presentation where you're going over all the great work you've been doing for months. I did add a bit of customization through an awkward about config prep, but it wasn't really what I wanted. The reason I share this failure is because it was one of the major takeaways from my internship. There's a conflict between your own knowledge, deadlines, and resources, and sometimes you won't like the outcome of that conflict. That's fine. The best thing to do is stay positive, move on, and file a passive-aggressive bug on Mozilla. The touch bar is a funny component. It is displayed as a part of the interface to the user, as if it's part of the front end, but it's implemented on the back end. Surely, I thought, no one in the history of software development has faced this problem, so there can be no possible solution. Well, folks, I am happy to announce that is not the case, and I was completely wrong. A fellow intern in Firefox savant N. Tim introduced me to the concept of IDLs, and I was set. The next chunk of my internship, as I researched IDLs and bridged my touch bar patch to the front end, is sort of a hazy blur. I don't fully comprehend what happened or what the code I wrote actually does, so I'm in the difficult position of conveying this DOM-related portion of the presentation in an unconventional format. Please indulge me in Chapter 3, A Brief History of DOM. As many of you know, the DOM was invented at the height of the Great Depression by Hunter S. Domson, no relation to the author, who conceived of it as a system for managing his cattle. The livestock would enter the barn, whereafter the patented DOM machine would lift the cattle, which were now moving to high heaven, and sort them into various shelves on the wall of the barn. Using this innovative cattle stacking technology, Domson was able to fit 8 times the cows in one barn. Amazing. The DOM engineers of the 1930s saw Domson's incredible technology and immediately set to modifying it for their purposes. After 60 years of creating standards, the World Wide Web was born. It was only then that Domson's dark secret was revealed. Despite DOM engineers being among the kindest and most talented people I have ever met, and despite their making incredible improvements to the DOM every single day, the DOM is still virtually impossible to use. Indeed, Hunter S. Domson nefariously and intentionally designed the DOM to sabotage would-be UX engineers no matter the improvements made to it. XPIDL, WebIDL, XPCOM, NSI Observer, are these just words? What do they mean? Why are they in my code? Please help me. Thankfully, Nika Lazel and the DOM team heard my cries and came to my aid, for which I am immensely grateful. I've run out of time to continue talking about the DOM and how it actually impacted my work, but I think you get a general idea of how I feel. I'll move on to the no-nonsense Chapter 4, A New Hope. Once I got out of DOM land, things became a lot clearer. I wrote a snazzy JavaScript API for defining touch bar buttons that should make it pretty easy for internal teams to add their own buttons. Here it is. That's all you need. And that's it. It's easy to make new buttons, so feel free to add one if you have any ideas. Reviews are pending, so I'll likely be doing a bit of contribution work over the rest of the summer to see it through, but hopefully it lands and those of you with Touch Bar Max can enjoy it. I still have about 2 minutes of allotted speaking time, so I'm going to move into the gratuitous thank yous portion of the presentation. First and foremost, I'd like to offer huge thanks to my incredible mentor, Erica, and my equally incredible manager, Blake. Both have been endlessly helpful and kind throughout my internship. Erica is an exceptionally talented engineer who took a real interest in me and my work, and I always look forward to our weekly one-on-ones. Blake is what I will dub a unicorn manager. He is in equal parts a skilled manager of people, a talented engineer, and a whimsical person. I'm grateful to both of them for supporting me in my work and for taking a chance on my weird resume that for some reason includes a major in international relations. If you are a future prospective intern watching this presentation to get tips on your upcoming interview with Erica or Blake, don't sweat it. They're great people. Also, seeing as you're from the future, if the appropriate standards bodies have gotten around to writing time-traveling sockets yet, please text me how Game of Thrones ends. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Sharon Bautista on the user research team, who selected me and Erica to go on a user research trip. We went to beautiful Hamilton, Ontario, my hometown, for a week to learn about people's shopping habits. While admittedly it wasn't a very exotic trip, I did get to recommend coffee places using my local knowledge. Before I offer A's for your pews, I'd like to extend one final thank you to the UX team and to all the Mozillians who made my internship possible. All in all, I've had an incredible summer. Thank you. Any questions? Thank you very much. Thank you.